Hello and welcome back to the Eight Figure Dentist podcast. So today we're going to talk about the practice ownership trap. Why you thought that owning a practice will give you the schedule, the income, and the lifestyle that you wanted, but it's actually much, much harder than you thought it's going to be. And I'm going to introduce you today to what a business model is, because if you're anything like me, you don't have a former business education, and maybe now you're starting to take an MBA classes or some business classes, but it is too broad. So you're not quite understanding. You're like, I am sinking, I'm swimming, but I'm also sinking. I'm like trying to figure out what is going on. What's going on is actually there are different business models, and you are likely in one of them desiring to actually be in a different business model. So I'm going to teach you all about two different business models in dentistry, which literally nobody teaches you. And that is the culprit of 99.9% of your problems, because you're trying to solve for the wrong thing because you're in the wrong business model. And then in the end, I'm going to invite you to join my free training that's coming up in December 6th and 7th. It's a 2-day Zoom training called Boutique Practice Formula. So spoiler alert, if you're anything like every single woman dentist that I speak to, you want to have the income that you want to have, $2, $3, $4, $10 million practice, but you don't want to be killing yourself for it. You want to have a work-life balance. You don't want to be working 5-6 days a week. You don't want to have 2-3 associates. You don't want to have like this crazy empire just to make good money. That what you want is a boutique practice. And there's actually an easy formula, and there are a lot of myths that I'm going to bust in next episodes about what boutique practice is not. So I invite you to join me for this free training. I'm going to leave the link below in the show notes to register. It's December 6th. It's a Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to teach you my 3 yes factors that every time create the boutique practice that you want, create the experience that you want. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into today's podcast topic. So what is a business model and why we're talking about this, and let's just back out a little bit. Why is practice ownership so hard? You started a practice or bought a practice most likely because you didn't like your associate job. Either there was no associate jobs at all, so you're like, I have to start my own practice. There's no really jobs available. Or you went from one associate job to another, and there were not great experiences. You didn't like your boss. You didn't like the treatments that they were dictating you to do, the lack of autonomy. You couldn't pick your team. You couldn't train them. You didn't have the rights, the control, the autonomy. And so you decided to start your own practice. And although, you're smart, so of course you knew that starting a business is going to be challenging, but you didn't anticipate how hard it's going to be. Am I right? Show of hands. Entrepreneurship, by the way, if you didn't realize you're an entrepreneur, even if you bought someone else's practice, you're in business, my friend. So you're an entrepreneur. So welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. It's the hardest thing you can possibly have. I have 2 children. I'm about to have a 3rd one. And I swear being a mom of 3 children with no childcare is easier than running a business. And I run 3 businesses. So I completely hear you, my friend. And that's why I called it the practice ownership trap, because you started this practice or bought this practice so you could make the money that you want, have the control and the say, and have the freedom. Isn't that true? One of your top 3 values, if I asked you right now, would be freedom, would be flexibility, would be your own schedule. But let me ask you this. Does your schedule look like it belongs to you? Or does it look like when you take the time that you want for your children, when you take the vacation for as long and the destination that you want, that all hell is breaking loose? The number of new patients is declining. Our conversions are going down. Like, things are just not clicking. And now you're throwing 5, 10, thousands of dollars every month on marketing agencies if you can afford this budget. or you're trying to train your team on social media and you're doing all these things, but you're barely gaining followers, not new patients. And the patients are coming in having objections because it's an open enrollment and we need to talk to the dad and we have to think about it. So you're like, what is happening right now? Why is it so hard? So if this is you, my friend, what's happening is you are in what I called a volume business model. You're running a practice on a business model, right? The model of how your business operates without even realizing it. How do we start a practice? How do we learn even how to own a dental practice, regardless of your specialty? Is you probably thought, okay, I got to market somehow. So maybe I'll hire a company that has like as many bells and whistles possible for the money that I'm paying them. They're taking care of my website. Maybe they're doing some social media, maybe some ads. Then you're like, okay, I got to go and schmooze. Like I got to go and meet some dentists, or if you're a general dentist, I'm going to sponsor some communities or some events. I'm going to, join the Chamber of Commerce. Like I'm going to do all these things to try and bring in new patients, right? So you're going and you're constantly like hunting. Think of it, hunter and gatherer, right? How do we bring in new clients to our business? You're hunting for them all the time. That's why it feels so exhausting. Instead of growing the plants or the seeds and waiting for the plants to grow. And so every conference you go to, every webinar or course you take teaches you how to attract more new patients. Okay, so your whole brain is programmed, I need more new patients, I need more new patients, I need more new patients. Are we busy now? Are we booked now? Notice how when you talk to your colleagues, people that are busy, quote unquote, or we're busy, that's a good thing. That means we're successful. That means we're making money. But honestly, deep down, do you really want to be busy? Like, do you really want to see 60 patients a day, 80 patients a day if you're an orthodontist? 20, 25 patients a day if you're a general dentist? 40 patients if you're a periodontist? Deep down, you don't. That's a lot. That's exhausting. That leaves no energy for you, for your family, for yourself, for cooking, for exercising, for your husband, to find a husband. That leaves you with nothing. That leaves you depleted. But you think it's the only way. Gotta grind, gotta hustle. That's just part of the game. It's only part of the game, my friend, if you're in the volume model. What is a volume model? Volume model is what you're being taught by every webinar, every consultant, every conference. They just don't call it the volume model. They call it how to have a successful dental practice. And it's BS because there's a different way. How I know it, I owned 3 businesses. So I've figured this out. And now I'm sharing this with you in a simple, easy way that will collapse the timeline between you and the success that you desire. So the bottom volume model you're in is attract as many patients as you can, as many patients as you can, as many patients as you can. And so what happens is you are throwing a lot of effort. These patients are coming in and they're not what I call high quality patients. They are not your dream premium patients. If you are honest with me and you look at your schedule, the number of new patients, the new patients that you're seeing this week, are they like the dreamiest patients you want to work with? No. But you're like, I'll take anyone. I need to make money. I hear you. I've been there. But when you are not attracting high quality patients, it's actually harder to convert them. You actually have to do a lot more convincing during the new patient exam. You have to do more gymnastics with discounting, with sequencing their treatment. There's a lot more efforting that you have to do in order to turn them from a new patient exam into an existing patient. It's harder because they're not coming in pre-qualified. So you're throwing a lot of effort on marketing, money or effort or both. Then you're efforting in the consult room. And then a lot of them are pain in the butt to work with because you drag them through the finish line the whole time. They are not following your instructions. They're not paying on time. They're not showing up. You're like, oh my God, this is tough, man. It was so much easier when I just showed up. I was an associate. I did my thing and I left. So this experience that I just described to you is the volume model. The volume model, the way you make money in this business model, relies on, obviously, volume, meaning as many patients are coming through your funnel, as your new patients, push as many new patients as possible, knowing that you're going to convert them maybe like at a 50-60% max, right? So for every 2 patients, only 1 patient will start treatment with you. And then, like, it's hard to actually get them a good outcome. And so you're not even getting like amazing testimonials. They're not referring everybody they know to you. And so you constantly have to go and hunt for more new patients because your customer retention rate is low. This business model is viable, it's working, but it's freaking exhausting. And can you make good money with this business model? Absolutely. But at some point, you're going to have to hire an associate because you're doing the volume. You're going to have so many new patients. I don't care about your specialty, but you're going to have so many new patients or existing patients that you're going to have to hire an associate and a bigger team, which we always know, the bigger the team, the bigger the headache, right? Because you have to manage all these people. And then your schedule gets out of control. So now you're paying $10,000 a month to a consulting company to come and clean things up and fix things and train everybody. And then you're terrified that somebody's going to leave because you've invested so much money into them and then you have to retrain new staff. Like, it's a headache. Do we know these doctors that have multiple offices? Sure. Talk to them. I actually talked to them. They're exhausted. They're burned out. They've been at this game for 20 years. They're actually making the money you probably don't even want to make. They're making $12, $15 million, but they barely see their kids. They're overweight. They're not happy, and that's not what you want. So what you want is a second business model, which is what I call a boutique business model. It's a business model in which you see much fewer patients. Your patient load is medium to low, but your fees are higher. So you're actually making the same money or even higher that you would if you had seen double the patients. For example, let's say you're an orthodontist like me, and let's say right now you're making $3 million a year and you're working 3 to 4 days a week. And you're seeing 50 patients a day. You know, like, damn, it's kind of a lot. We can make same amount of money. We can make the same 3 million, even 4 million, seeing 20 patients a day. How would you like that? If you're a general dentist, you could see 5 to 10 patients a day. You can even see fewer. I have somebody who does these super expensive $50,000 cases, full smile cases. Like, you only need a handful of those to hit your goal. So you're charging higher, you're seeing fewer patients, but here's another benefit. You don't need as big of a team because you're not seeing as many patients. So now you don't have to manage so many people. Your team is smaller. So you can take the 2-week vacation that you want. You don't have to worry about this volume marketing, try to get a ton of people through the door. You know how to convert them. That's part of the 3 yes factors. You know how to convert them at 90 to 100% once they get there because they're pre-qualified, because they're your dream patients, because your whole marketing is speaking to them. That's my yes factor 1 and 2 that I'm teaching in my upcoming training. So you have these pre-qualified patients, not just anybody with teeth, pre-qualified patients that are seeking you out as an expert. You know how to convert them. So you see fewer of them. You have time to actually talk to them. You have time for quality of care. You're starting to become known in your community. You are making the 2, 3, 5, even 8 million that you want. in a single doctor practice, working 2-3 days a week, no associate, low volume. That is what you want. And the name for this business model is boutique dental practice. Now, the reason why most people don't teach that is because it's the supply and the demand, right? We heard somewhere like, hey, you need more new patients. And so what you're asking is what companies, consultants are creating for you. Oh, you're asking for more new patients? Okay, I'm going to figure this out. Oh, now you're too busy, doctor? No problem. We'll take it off your shoulders. We'll do that for you. But this is all symptomatic treatment. This is not causation. We're not going to the root of the etiology of the problem. What is the actual problem? Right? The problem is not that we don't have enough patients. It's the quality of patients. And I totally get it when you're in this scarcity mode, when you either had a dip in your revenue or maybe you're just starting out, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take anyone. Have you seen my student loans? Like, this is terrifying. Have you seen my zip code area? There's so many people there. I get it. I completely understand you. But it's the same thing as trying to solve for a broken arm with a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid solution. What you want is what you want. You want to learn, how can I attract high quality dream premium patients? What do I need to do? And it's actually so much simpler than you think. And I don't know why nobody teaches this in dentistry. Maybe because they don't know. And the reason how I know it is because I grew a successful coaching company and medical legal company from ground up, from scratch, with no mentors, with no consultants, with no marketing people, with nothing, no one. From 0 to multiple 7 figures. I did it literally on my own. And how did I do it? Because I went to the basics. I literally learned the business part of it. I understood the marketing. I have studied how Amazon became successful, what Elon Musk did with Tesla. I had the luxury of having the husband who could support me so that I could dive in and learn all that stuff. And then I brought it to my clients. I already had a coaching business going. I brought it to my clients and I started teaching dentists how to do that. And their practices exploded. So that's how I started teaching this. That's how I understand this. I didn't go to, what the clients wanted. I didn't even think to do business coaching in the beginning. I was more known as the general stress time management coach for women dentists. But in order to grow my own businesses, I've learned how businesses operate. I've learned the basics and the mastery of marketing and sales. And if you're having a practice in 2026, then let me break the news for you. You're also in the business of marketing and sales. And you probably think, I'll just outsource it to somebody. Well, how is that working out for you? Because if you don't understand the basics and you don't have somebody who will create the structure for you, which is what I do, which is what coach does, then you're literally burning cash. To people who are telling you, well, we need more time. Well, we need to tweak this. We need to figure out this. Well, it's a trust recession. Oh, it's hard to close. It's a lot of competition. It's a lot of excuses. While there's a proven path to build a boutique practice. So if you want to learn what is this formula, how can I have a boutique practice? Boutique practice is not just buying nicer furniture. That's not what makes practice boutique. Boutique practice is also not a golden cage where you have these difficult patients that you're treating that are sucking your blood. That's not what a boutique practice is. It's definitely not how I teach it. So if you want a step-by-step process of how to build a boutique practice, regardless where you're in your journey, especially if you have your practice going and you're making some money and you're exhausted and you're like, I can't do this for the next 10 years. My free training in December 6th, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, called Boutique Practice Formula, is exactly what you need. I invite you to join me where you will learn the 3 yes factors that you must implement in 2026 in order to break this cycle and start moving from the volume model into the boutique business model. I'm so excited for you and I can't wait to teach you this. All right, have a beautiful day, everyone, and I'll see you at the next episode. Bye.